Hi everyone, welcome to PlayWrite's first edition of eCouch. We are being joined shortly by our first guest ever. This is PlayWrite and my name is Chitranjan. Okay, so I need to go this. Waiting for our guest to join. We sent her a request. Anjum will be with us shortly. And five, I think, four. We're just waiting for her to connect. Waiting Anjum. We've sent the request to Anjum. So we are just waiting for her to connect. It's to be a network speed challenge. Yes. One more time, I think we need to go one more time. Seems to be a network challenge here. Just hold on, people. Maybe another minute or so. Just waiting and connecting once again. I think yeah, there we have Anjum. Hi, good evening, Anjum. How are you?
Hi, good evening. I'm good. How are you?
Well, excellent. Welcome to Playwright's first e-scout session, and you are our first guest, so you go in our record books.
Thank you.
First here,
Thank you.
world number two in
Yeah.
10-meter shooting. I'm just trying to adjust this a little. God, bit of a challenge. I'm technically a little challenged. Okay, so great. So Anjum, there has not been very good news coming from this world of sport for the last few weeks. And in all this negativity, I've been watching your fitness videos that you've been posting and the little bits of art that you've been doing. So really interesting. How have you been keeping yourself occupied in these days?
Since everything got cancelled for everyone around the world, and we have been in lockdown from a couple of weeks now, I think I've taken it really positively, and I'm staying at home, using this time to the best I can. I'm just learning new things. I'm just enjoying working out at home, enjoying with everyone. We stay in a joint family, so that's a big advantage because there's so many people, games and everything. Just I'm enjoying the time I'm getting at home because it's usually all traveling, and then I'm staying mostly in Delhi for training and everything. So it's really good. It's really good here.
So you're catching up with family,
Yeah.
learning new things. What new things have you learned? Let's
Yeah.
any new dish to cook, or do you learn a new skill or something? What have you been up to?
I'm actually cooking nowadays. I've cooked around 5 to 6 new dishes, be it sweet or savory. So I've learned many dishes. I'm cooked a meal, and I've started, learning dance, which I really don't like doing it, but I've started, learning some steps from my sister, and I'm learning juggling from my brother, and I'm completing some big artwork so that I have enough stock to, set in my exhibition or something if I get time. And also
Okay.
I learned about some muscles in my body so that I properly know which muscle is where, and when I get pain, at least it's good to tell the physios that this muscle is paining rather than just being, randomly. So yeah, that's a couple of things I'm doing home, and it's fun. It's fun. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So, not so good news this morning's paper that the Delhi Shooting World Cup had been cancelled. And when we met in February at the launch of Playwright 2020 at the press
Yeah.
conference, you were really looking forward to this event. So, how are you staying positive, with all these information coming in about the Olympics being rescheduled? So, mentally, is it a challenge to stay focused?
Yeah, earlier there came news about Olympics being postponed for another one year, and World Cup we were actually waiting for the news officially to come that the World Cup will be cancelled, because everyone was sure that, seeing the scenario now in India and before in all the countries around the world, we were actually waiting, and I mean, I thought that it will be cancelled because it's of no use like making a competition like a competition is held and then no big players come in. So we actually took it positively, because at the end of the day, we have to take care of health of all the athletes all around the world. So we had in our plan in mind that what if it's cancelled, then everything will be, there'll be no competition for a couple of months more, and then it just Olympic Games now, since being postponed, we have enough time at least to prepare, and I hope everything is sorted. The coronavirus, it just should be, everyone should be safe, and once it's done, I hope, and then we get a competition, and that will be the best time for the games to happen. So since everyone is in this together, there's no use getting all the negative thoughts and everything. Just be positive, whatever you can do in this given time, do your best, and there's nothing more we can do about this.
So the Olympics get rescheduled, and last evening when we were, kind of discussing, we said that an athlete is about 7-8 years of peak performance with them. Any professional athlete, unlike a writer or a mentor or a public speaker or a politician whose lifespan in terms of their profession is 30-40 years. And 1 year gets taken away, right? One whole year gets taken away. That's 10-15% of your peak performance time. How does it impact you professionally?
So yeah, I mean, we can't say that 1 year has been taken, but yeah, surely there are many, I think couple of more months that we won't be shooting any competition. So that is not a good thing for an athlete, because some may be in the peak of their performance and everything, but I think since there's nothing negative we have to take about right now. So there's one thing we can learn is, sports is not in everything in our life. There are so many other things that go on, be it our family life, be it anything what you studied like otherwise in your academics and everything. So since everyone is going through this all together, there's no use just cribbing about missing out on our peak performance in sports. Is the best time to see what all you are good at, what all you can learn. You have a life out of sports too. Focus on that. Spend time with the family. It's like हमारे हाथ से अगर कोई competition निकल गया like that, right? And then we sit and cry about it. So best is जो चीज है उस चीज की कदर कर लो. Family hai, respect them, be with them. You have enough time to learn. If you can cook, if you can paint, if you can dance, sing and everything, just find yourself from within.
Fantastic, very positive thoughts, Anjum over there. आपकी जो मतलब thought process. Yes.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
बिल्कुल, आप बिल्कुल सही कह रहे हैं. जो ये टाइम है आपको उसको कैसे यूज करना है पॉजिटिवली, वो बहुत जरूरी है.
जी.
So Anjum, we have some viewers who are posing questions simultaneously जब हम बात कर रहे हैं. तो अभी ये निशी परवार का question है. How do you keep yourself stable during ups and downs? She wants to know. I think there's a connection challenge from Anjum's end. The bandwidth. Sorry, people, seems to be a bit of a connection challenge with Anjum.
Yeah.
You're back now?
Can you see me now? Yeah, I couldn't hear you before. Okay. So can you just
So repeat? This was a viewer called Nishi Parvar who's with us, and she wants to know, how do you keep yourself stable during ups and downs?
So one thing I've learned through sport that goes into my normal life as well is there will be ups and downs, because no one ever just experienced ups only. So you will surely get downs, for sure. And the best thing to realize, if you never got downs or everything, this first thing to realize is, if you never get defeated, or if you never lose, you will never know the value of winning. Yeah.
Right.
So that is, I think, for that reason, it's really really important to know how losing feels, how you feel when you don't achieve what you want, how that feeling is. So once you know that, I think then you can actually deal with the ups and downs with much clear mind. And what how I deal with downs is, there is always something to learn from your failures, or whatever you say. If you're not shooting good, if you're not giving your 100%, or the results are not coming, so I think there's always something that you can learn from it. And the biggest success would be, you won't be repeating that same mistake the next time you're doing that thing. So for me, that is, the way to learn from your downs, and give your 100% in the ups, and then for sure you'll have more of ups and less of downs. But never expect that you'll never have downs. I think that's really important to achieve your understanding and achieve yourself whatever you want. Having those ups and downs is important, and not losing your determination and passion for what you want to do.
Yeah. So Anjum, so spin off of the question from there. So do these downs spur you to do better? Do they encourage you to do better?
Yeah, for sure. There are many times I've shot really well, and I've trained a lot. I think I just gave my 100%, but the scores don't come. I might not get selected for a competition or something. So I think that is the time when sometimes when they're all ups, you just start taking things for granted. So when there are downs, and okay, this is the thing I missed on, or this is the thing I'm weak on, that's when I actually realize, okay, never take anything for granted. You can never just win. There are always times when you might just fall or just cry and everything. So have to get that confidence back, that why you're shooting, why you're doing something. It's not just because of the medals, just to get to the podium, or just for the internationals. It's just because I love to shoot. I enjoy standing there and feeling my body when I'm shooting. I think that is the reason I shoot. I don't just shoot for the medals. So if I don't get one, at least I'm happy that I gave my 100% and I enjoyed every moment of it.
So we have another viewer question coming up. What is your performance improvement strategy?
What is my performance improvement strategy? It can be, after my match, I talk to my coach and ask her about what went wrong, or if something I couldn't figure out what went wrong, but she could understand. I would just have a talk with her, and then she would just make me understand, okay, you need to work on this. So it's just, learning every time what all can be added upon, getting that better technique and just bettering yourself, just putting that 1% into your training, into your everything. That's when that's what actually improves the performance. Yeah, so that's
okay.
how I use, and yeah, that's it.
So there's a young fan of yours called Vasudha who wants to see your artwork. How can she see your artwork?
Yeah, I have a couple of my paintings here, since I'm in my room, which I painted during this quarantine. I can show you. Wait.
Yes, please. That would be
So
nice.
this is the one I painted recently during my quarantine. This is a whale. So
Okay.
I painted it and gave it a caption on Instagram that since there are so many good things also happening during this lockdown throughout the world, that the nature is coming back, and if there's no pollution, there's animals are happy and everything. So I made this, that the sea animals are happy, and Yeah, at least this is the time when everything else is healing and people are at home. And
Right.
also, a recent one I did, which I really like. Yeah, it's this one.
Oh, that's very true.
Yeah, so
Yes.
this and these are like I made it yesterday.
Oh,
So
wow. That's lovely.
I'll
Very bright.
probably get them framed once the shop's open. And yeah, that's it.
Okay.
These are some few of
So
them.
another beer question is, what has been the toughest moment of your life, and how did you bring yourself out of it?
Toughest.
Just disappointment, maybe, if you could like to rephrase that.
Okay, I was really disappointed during the Commonwealth Games. I had my prone match and my three position match. I had two events to shoot. So my prone match went really bad because of one mistake I made about not seeing if my one rifle part was loose, and I shot terrible. I was the last one in the ranking, and I was so confident about myself. But then that one mistake just put me to the last rank. So that day, I just couldn't talk to anyone. I was very, very disappointed. My phone was switched off. I did not talk to my coach. I mean, she did talk to me, but I couldn't say anything. I just told her the reason, and she told me, that at least because you know the reason, I'm happy. Whatever is done, it's done. At least you know the reason. And because I knew the reason and I felt so bad, the next day I had my three position event shooting. And that day I was like, we had to get up at 4:30 or 5, and then we had to leave at 5:30 for our match in Brisbane. That day was one day in my life when I was most like focused, and I had so much concentration in everything I was doing. And I was so sure and confident about myself that that's how I got out of that day. I was so focused on the next day. The next day I have another opportunity to prove myself that that was a mistake, but you have that capability to get back and show yourself that it's not about showing others that I can do well. It was showing myself. I had to get out of that block I had made in my mind when I shot bad. So next day I ended up shooting the Commonwealth Games record, and it's still
Wow.
there. Yeah, it's 589 out of 600 in three positions. So that gave me confidence that okay, even if there's a bad day, you should have confidence that you have prepared well, you have given your 100%, and just go there and make sure you don't disappoint yourself at the end of the day again. So that's
Brilliant.
what.
That's very motivating. A couple of questions on the same theme again coming in is tips for mental training. Especially during this lockdown. What are the important tips for mental training?
I think firstly, one should, if someone cannot actually see for yourself that what one should do and what all through workout is about, start sharing whatever your thoughts are and anything with a colleague like of the same profession, be it any game or anyone. So you can just start talking to other athletes about what all can be done. So they might have better ideas or more ideas than you do. So one thing is to start sharing about how you want to cope up with it, how you want to go about, shooting other competitions and everything. And then secondly, you can visualize. You can just, if you're holding your rifle, you're dry training at home, you can just visualize you are in a competition and then everyone is cheering you up and everything. So that visualization really helps. And you can surely take some online psychological sessions or classes. I've actually gone through many classes myself. I've just read stuff about the body, read stuff about the brain, how it works, how emotions work. So I think that's how you can actually learn about how to control your emotions, and how that's about learning your mind. So during quarantine, during this lockdown, you can actually do that, and that might help you mentally a lot.
You're also a sports psychologist, something to do with that. Which is your favorite sports psychology movie? Is a spin-off question I want to ask you.
Sports psychology movies.
Yeah, there's this
I
one brilliant movie. Have you seen the Tin Cup? It's about golf
No.
and a sports psychology. You must see that. It's a really fun movie.
Okay. I've actually
Maybe
not focused mainly on finding a movie on sports psychology, but
right.
yeah, I've seen like psychology
So,
movies separately and sports separately, not like
so
sports.
what took you to sports psychology? Because that's a very interesting subject to be in to stay mentally tough.
Yeah, so I started my bachelor's. I started with psychology in my bachelor's. So I think that was when I actually loved that subject. I had the best staff, my best teachers of psychology staff in my college in DAV Sector 10. So the teachers were so helpful. Just I loved that subject so much. I could understand my body, my mind, and everything. It was beautiful. It's a really nice subject. So then I actually wanted, when I wanted to do masters, I picked up sports psychology because I was anyway attending two like really less classes, and also sports psychology was the only one I could relate to and understand even while not attending classes. Even if I could just read it, I could understand what they want to say. So out of the class who were attending the classes every day, out of the people who were attending classes every day, I was the one actually who could understand really quickly because I was there in that field, you know. So that's why I took up sports psychology, that because I just thought it will be easy for me to, you know, give exams and understand it well, and also it might help me in my field because I never intend to do a job or something. So I just thought that sports psychology would help me in
Is
my
that a
I don't know,
is
psychologically.
that a post-retirement professional option that you looking at?
No, I
Too
don't
early to
think
think
so.
about
I'll be a
retirement. I don't know. But yeah.
No, I don't
Okay.
think so. I'll be a like a professional sports psychologist, but I surely have some idea about how it goes about. I do talk to some athletes and, you know, help them out, but professionally, I really don't think I'm too that qualified for it. Yeah.
So on a lighter note, somebody wants to know: can you shoot coronavirus right now?
I hope we could. The whole Indian shooting team would love to do that, but we can't. You just need
Right.
to stay home. I think
Yes.
shooters can't do that. It just everyone needs to stay at home, and then that's how we can shoot it.
Right. Okay. How to get a better stance? A little technical.
Uh, I mean, you should like talk to a coach or someone and get a basic stance, and then work upon it, and, you know, just have better knowledge of your body, that where your body gets good balance and stability, and then work on it. Just do more of training so that your stance gets stronger, whichever the way it's comfortable. So that's what anything, yeah, I can say.
Okay. How do you focus on every shot and avoid a wandering mind? People feel it in every sport they play, with the tennis, golf, cricket, whatever.
Um, Yeah, it's very difficult. I totally understand. I also used to ask senior athletes about, you know, how do we focus? It's just so much, so many things in mind which we don't get otherwise. But while shooting, we'll surely get because we are so much focused. But I think one thing to do is just focus on the process. If you're focusing on the process, that what you are doing, you're breathing, you get your focus on your body, each part of your body, then you focus on your movements of loading the rifle, your movements of focusing through the sights, your aiming process. When you just you know, focus on your process, there will not be any difficulty in, you know, getting those thoughts. You will not focus on the thoughts because you are right now focusing on your process, and even because of that, you might not focus on the result. That will really help you.
Okay. How do you control high pressure situations? A continuation of
uh,
this focus.
So
Yeah.
I had a few experiences where one day I had like extreme pressure. I just couldn't handle it. I just called my coach that I'm just under too much pressure. It's I can't, you know, stabilize my gun and everything. So one thing she told me was, this is the competition where you have prepared the most, you know. So the pressure that's coming, it's only because you have really prepared well. So having that pressure is really good because you are confident that you have trained well. And when you get that pressure, it's only because you know you have given you 100% and you are there now at the field. So that pressure helps you to maintain that focus and that concentration during your game. I think for me, and one day I had no pressure. I was like, I could shoot so well under pressure, so it's okay if I don't have that pressure now. But that was a really bad match because there was no pressure. I never actually focused on shooting, giving my 100%. I was just like, ठीक है, pressure नहीं है, चला दो. It went bad. So having that little bit of pressure is really important. This is what I learned from my coach, and this also actually helps me because it will give you that thing to remain under focus and concentration.
You're being so down to earth, you're such a down to earth person. I met you a couple of times, and that's what I've always admired. What brings out that quality in you? Is it
Thank you. First of all, thank you. I think I really don't feel I've done something to be really proud of. I'm surely I am. I like what I do, but I feel there's so much to grow, and there's so much to learn and everything. I don't feel there's no why not to be grounded. I mean, like down to earth, and one should be. I don't know why I'm like this. I don't know. It just there. Yeah. So I don't feel there's any pride in what I do. I'm just doing it because I love it. It's good that people respect us so much, or respect our medals and everything we do for our country. But I don't know. I like gathering knowledge, learning, and that's it. Not being proud of it.
Well, we are very proud of you, Anjum. The whole nation
Thank
is
you.
proud of what you've done for us. You're world number 2 in 10-meter air rifle shooting, which is a fantastic achievement. And there is another question. Can you show us your rifle right now? Is it possible? Is it close by? Could you show your rifle?
Yeah, I do have it in another room. I'll ask my cousin to get it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Surely.
someone to yes, please.
Yeah,
if you could ask them.
Yeah, they'll get it.
Yeah, that would be nice. So, how much time does an aspirant need to get to reach the international level? That is another question coming up.
It totally depends upon how better you become in your game, and then how much opportunities you get to qualify at that level. First your state level, and then your other level, like then you play nationals, then you play trials. That it actually takes time, but you have to be really good if you want it quick. Then you have to just qualify, make it to the Indian team and go for the internationals. So my first international competition was in 2011, a junior competition, and I started shooting in 2008. So it took me that much time, but there are many good athletes and young ones. There are many young athletes who are like really good, and they just started, and the next day are in the Indian team. So if you really want to make it quick, be really good at it.
Okay, so there's a question that seems technical. How to increase score on the electric line? I couldn't get that question, but this has come in 2-3 times. How to increase the score on the electric line?
Okay. Yeah, I get it. So it's the main target where we shoot. It's an electric target. So how can we increase the score? It's just working. It's not like the paper target is somewhat. Just a second.
Yeah.
So there's nothing like we can shoot more on paper target or less on electronic target. It just needs practice, more of practice, and just focusing on the technique rather than which target it is, which target the model it is. Yeah.
Fair enough. So what about your diet? Are there special dietary restrictions placed on you? Is there something that you need to follow, or can you eat as much meatha as you like?
No. So I'm not at all not too much into meatha. I just don't like sweets. But there are restrictions, as in, like, if we are into a competition or something, we totally avoid oily food and anything that's too heavy for shooters. And everyone, it actually depends from person to person. For me, like, I can't shoot empty stomach. For someone, they just eat one banana and then they shoot. I need to keep my stomach like full, but not like over full. So it totally depends from person to person. Just make sure you have enough of all the proteins and vitamins, but also no oily, and you should know what all to avoid before the matches and everything. And yeah, I have my rifle here.
Okay.
So
So
it's
is this a? Oh wow, that
yeah,
looks
it's
great.
my air rifle, and I've painted it.
Okay, you
Yeah.
painted it yourself. Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
lovely.
So
Lots of bright colors over there. Very
yeah.
Brazilian and Rio Olympics. It reminds me of the Rio Olympics logo and the Brazilian football team. You know,
Oh,
the
is it?
blue. Yeah, yes, but very very
Nice.
nicely done. So there's a question: why did you
Yeah.
switch to a monotech rifle?
Now I'm back to my Elitech.
Okay.
I switched to Monotech because Walter gifted me that rifle, and I really wanted to try it because it was a new stock they released, and I just wanted to try it, and it was a good. It is actually a good model. So I just shot for some time. I couldn't set, and I had to get back to my previous one because I had less time for my matches and everything. I couldn't set that well. Yeah,
Manu
that's it.
Bhakar, your teammate, is online. You can say hi to Manu. We just got a message saying Manu is online.
Hi, Manu. Yeah, there's some really young athletes who make up, the best Indian shooting team here.
Okay, so how important is dry holding? How is dry holding important? I mean, that's what someone's question is.
Yeah, so I think dry holding is something that you can actually do during this lockdown, and it's really, really helpful for getting your muscle memory there. Your muscles should be in that, in that thing that which muscles to use when you are shooting and everything. So having that muscle memory there is important. And also your body changes every day it changes. So just if you keep doing on dry, it is really important for the mind and body to remember how your muscles work, how your mind works when you're shooting. So I think it's a very important part of our training. When we're not actually live shooting, we are doing live dry training.
Okay, so the last question from the audience that we're taking is whey protein okay to consume?
I
Whey
don't
pro-
know. I mean, I don't consume whey protein. I try as much as uh, raw fruits and vegetables I can take, and also dry fruits. So I don't take personally whey protein, so I can't answer that question.
Okay, brilliant.
Yeah.
So now my question to you is Tokyo 2021, not too many competitions happening in between. Ranges, we don't know when they will open. Do you have a shooting range at home?
No, I don't have one, but I have 10 meters space, and my dad and me, we have made a target, a place where you can actually shoot. So yeah,
Mhm.
I've actually arranged that for my 10 meters, but for 50 meters, I just need to sit and do dry training. I can't shoot 50 meters.
Okay, so you're practicing for 10 meters at home.
Yeah, I had made a temporary range till the time we are
Okay.
locked down. Yeah.
Okay, great. So Anjum, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure
Thank you.
for the last 35 minutes that we've had you here. Thank you so much for giving us your time and being with PlayWrite. And we look forward to your being world number one in everything you put your hand into, whether it is
Thank
painting
you.
or whether it is cooking or sports psychology and of course shooting.
Thank
Glory
you
to
so
India. Jai Hind.
much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. It's nice
Thank you.
talking to you.